My name is Carsten Nicolai. I'm living in Berlin and working in Berlin. Basically, as I was invited to the festival, and the topic came up. Normally, I not really like this idea of applying or illustrating something like this kind of topic. But by chance, I'm worked on a piece already, what is planned for many years now, what is a small film project. And actually this film project consists of many very short movies. This film project is called Future Past Perfect. And this is basically part number 2. This is many years concept of the piece, and basically part number 2 is a portrait of a house. A portrait, how you would normally do a portrait of a person. In a way, this little movie about the house reflects a little bit my childhood, how I grew up, on one point. On the other point, it reflects a little bit this idea of modernism and standardization, and of course the idea of Bauhaus, of multiplying modular ideas. And another aspect, of course, is the, let's say, individualism inside such a machine. Yeah, I mean, you could the house is like a machine a little bit, but yeah. So, and I think this this movie fitted very well to the topic of the community. As I started shooting, I really wanted to have I had a very positive feeling towards the building. Even if I, let's say, I'm very critical about such buildings because of my personal experience. As I composed the music with Ryuichi Sakamoto together, I talked a little bit with him about the footage we made already, and explained a little bit what the movie will look like in the end. And basically, we decided to choose a very light, almost kids-like melody. The topic of community, the topic of industrialization, of building industrialization, on the example of a Le Corbusier building was really interesting to me, because I grew up in East Germany. I lived most of the time in such modular houses, let's say, what of course picked up one of the ideas of Le Corbusier, the vertical city. So I more or less know very well how it feels to live in such a building. You don't look very happy from the image itself, let's say. But to break that and to open it up and make it light again, I think the soundtrack became a very important element of that movie too. And one of the major questions, of course, what I always had was that when you live in such buildings, in the very generic buildings, what I don't talk about the Le Corbusier buildings, I talk about the how industrialization and the need for living space picked up that idea and what reality made out of that. How that idea of industrialization and modular thinking and playing with basically standardization in a very playful way ended up in a very uncreative situation. And because I say, because it's a whole generation, we all grew up in these kind of houses, we felt totally depressed in these houses. But much later we realized with a strong feeling of community.